Welcome to Carrigallen for this under-16 Division 3 final between Aughavas and Carrigallen. Both teams are out on the field. The Aughavas team up to our right, Carrigallen down to our left. They're wearing the blue and white. Liam McGuinness has just came to me. I was just having a quick word there with Killian McGuinness. We'll give you a check on how the teams line out. First of all, we'll give you the Carrigallen team, Oisin Donoghue in goal. The full-backs are Declan Donoghue and Brian Murray. The half-line, David Flynn, Noel Nash and Michael Tighe. Midfield is Kieran Kelleher and Mark Kerrigan. The half-forwards are Matthew McManus, Gary Riley and Stephen Gray. And the full-forwards, Niall Riley and Charles McGuinness. The Aughavas team are posing for the photographs. Up here to our right, the main photographer is Philip McIntyre, and they will line out as follows with Garrod McGovern in goal. The full-backs are Francis McLaughlin and Colin Farley. The half-line, Derek Maguire, Declan Kelleher and John Farley. Midfield is Martin Cregan and Francis Byrne. The half-forwards are David Charles, Gavin Farley and Niall Gallogly. And the full-forwards, Niall Maguire and Kevin Maguire. And Shamie McManus has just joined me in the press box, a man who's given great service to club and county over the years. Shamie, what are we anticipating here this evening?
It'll be a close game. They played here earlier on. I've seen them playing earlier on in the competition, so I expect it'll be very close this evening. Kicking the ball between them.
And where do you see, what positions would you say that it might sway it for either side, knowing both sides pretty well?
Noel Nash now is centre half back. I think he's centre half back. I expect he'll be dominating there in the back line, that he'll not letting nothing through. And then you have young McGuinness there on the forward line. Actually, he went off injured the last day early, so I expect he should be the turning point, actually.
Right, we'll talk to you as the game progresses. Our cameraman this evening is Terry Williams, who incidentally played in the Aughavas team the first time that I ever did a commentary when Aughavas were playing. That was against Drumkeeran in Park Sean McDiarmid in Carrigallen many years ago. And the big man for the big occasion, Jerry McGovern from Clune. He's our referee today, out there now with the two captains, Kieran Kelleher of Carrigallen and Francis Byrne of Aughavas. The toss of the coin, the shake of the hand from the captains, and very soon this Division 3 under-16 final will get underway. It's just as a matter of note that quite an amount of these lads are still under 14s. Martin McCartan is linesman on the near side of the field. We'll check who the linesman is on the far side. It's Joe Dorrigan from Gortletra. The teams are now going to line up. There were some alterations in some of the numbers, as numbers on some of the teams are missing. We'll check it out as the game goes along. Oh yes, they're looking for something very important to get this game going. It's called a football. On the Aughavas team now, I see number 14. Now, John Murray assured me that he would let me know who was playing who.
Derek Maguire.
So, Derek Maguire is actually lining out at half-back. There was no number 4 available, so the game gets underway and the ball broken down. You can see by the surface that there's quite an amount of surface water as Kieran Kelleher picks it up for Carrigallen and sends a nice delivery across into the middle where Gary Riley will drop that one in up in towards the general direction of the goal. Forwards will run onto it and running on and grabbing it and taking it, sending it over the bar is Charles McGuinness for the first score of the game. That coming in under half a minute of play. A nice delivery into the middle from Kieran. Shamie Mack, come in and talk me through that.
That was a good move. They keep letting the ball into young McGuinness. I expect that, as I said earlier, he'll be the key man there. They want that in fast.
The kick out ball broken down, and the referee Jerry McGovern has blown the whistle, and Francis Byrne sends the free across. Derek Maguire. Niall Galloway actually is the 14 now. Quite in a mix-up in numbers. Now the ball has been played down towards Niall. Sometimes this will be difficult to sort out as players gets it, and David Flynn sends the ball out onto the far side. Now I see a number 18 over on the far side. Who was 18 on my list? We'll have to check that out with some of the Aughavas people. I've been told that 18 is Derek Maguire. I'll soon have the page filled with changes of numbers as Carrigallen will come attacking again. That was Stephen Gray who got the ball up. Derek Kelleher was going up after it. Took a knock. Down the middle it comes. Mark Kerrigan. Kerrigan being tackled in there by Francis Byrne as the ball is switched out now, and I thought for a moment that Stephen Gray might be fit to nudge it on, but John Farley is back there, and John Farley for Aughavas. That ball has gone way downfield, going across David Flynn to pick it up. David is being tackled in there now as David Charles tried to get in the challenge. That's rolling back up in there. Picking it up is Colin Farley, trying to work his way out. Out comes the delivery now, out towards the halfway line. That's Noel Nash, the powerfully built centre back that Shamie Mack was talking about. Again, feeding it up. It's coming up to Charles McGuinness's corner. McGuinness will work his way across, try to take on the defender. He was taking on Francis McLaughlin there. That's not going to curl enough. That's gone to the right. Now we've played just over 3 minutes. Shamie, come close to me because I've got this microphone. Maybe we don't do it.
That was a bad miss. You know, Charles, he could have taken another couple of steps and tip it over the bar. Our half-back line, as I say, Noel Nash is dominating there, and they're doing quite well so far anyway.
The kick out is going to come out towards the line. That's nicely flicked up there by John Farley, and John has been tackled in there. Gary Riley was putting in the challenge. Right now it's Charles McGuinness again. Charles will draft him in. That should be a goalkeeper's ball. That's Gerard McGovern who gets it and clears the ball way out the field. Play on, says the referee, as the splashing continues over there on the far side, and nobody for the moment able to pick it up now. Gavin Farley is brought down as he picks it up, taking the free quickly, dropping it right down, and David Flynn was there again. That's a nice delivery as Caden Kelleher will lay that one off, and one can see that the conditions are far from ideal as Carrigallen now will come attacking, but that's nicely one inside there. Free out to Aughavas. That free is sent out where Francis Byrne will collect it, and Francis Byrne being tackled as he tries to work his way across field. He was in action for the juniors a week ago, and that will tell you about the age variety that was on show that day. Now, this is Niall Galloway who sent the ball down. Niall Maguire. Niall Maguire is being chased by Declan Donohoe. That's floated inside. And Brian Murray is there, and Brian Murray clearance is coming towards the sideline. That will roll out over the sideline. Down here to our left, Niall Galloway will leave it to Francis Byrne to take. Francis Byrne chipping it nicely across in there, and John Farley will go forward with it. John Farley still going, sending it in. That's gone over the bar, and the sides are level after just 5 minutes of play in the first half at a point apiece. That was a nice move from Aughavas.
Good, great score by Aughavas. Our centre half forward there didn't ask to go back, but the conditions is desperate bad out there, you know, and I know Aughavas is on the 14 and they're on the small side, so conditions shouldn't really be suiting them, but they're doing their utmost at the moment.
So we await the kick out. Oisin Donohoe will take the kick. Again, right up through the middle. That may well break for Carrigallen. Matthew McManus was after it. Now Stephen Gray is there to pick it up. Stephen Gray's kick is half blocked down. He's following up. Stephen still, and he's been fouled, and there's a free. Gary Riley is going to take the free. Maybe it would be more suited to a left-footed kicker if they'd got one, but Gary will kick this with the right. That's going across towards the far post. Knocked in, but knocked out over the end line. Seamus, it never ceases to cross my mind when frees from the right-hand side. A left-footed kicker can be very, very useful for those.
Very useful, but they were calling young Keller up there. He must have been practicing or that, and he didn't make his way up. I don't know why. But now conditions are atrocious out there.
So Aughavas now with Colin Farley, and they win a free over on the stand side. That comes right across, and once again there to meet it was Noel Nash. Noel Nash will lay it out now. Gary Riley going forward. They're level at a point apiece prior to this shot. They're making signals in there. Now Jerry McGovern is going in, and I don't know what the signals are because there was no move towards either. It's wide. Francis McLaughlin preparing to take the kick out for the Aughavas lads. That's going to turn out. Charles McGuinness tried to bring it down. Stephen Gray is after it. The ball is knocked out towards the sideline, and they're picking it up for Aughavas was Declan Kelleher. That's a cross in towards the middle. Matthew McManus was battling for it there, but the free is going to be taken for Aughavas by Francis Byrne. Michael Tye will chase back there to put in the challenge on Niall Gallugly as it's cut out there again by Noel Nash. Switching play across, but switching it right into the path of an Aughavas man. That's Derek Maguire. That's dropping inside. They're battling for it inside in there. And that's gone out over the end line as Niall Maguire tried to set up an Aughavas scoring chance. It remains 1 point apiece, and we've played 8.5 minutes. Shamey, you mentioned the conditions. There was a heavy downpour a couple of hours ago, and the surface water is still sitting there. That makes it very difficult.
Very difficult, and especially for the smaller players. There, young Maguire, and he normally put them over at his ease, and with the heavy ball like that, it fell shorter.
Mark Kerrigan and David Flynn are doing their utmost to get the ball upfield for Carrigallen. That's right across up into the middle. Now, Matthew McManus. Matthew did get a toe poke to it, and the ball eventually making its way back to him as he feeds it nicely out. Now Kieran Kelleher is picking it up, and Kieran Kelleher is soloing in on the left. Just what we sort of mentioned, Shamey McAmee, a little while ago. Why wasn't the left-footed player used for the free? Here comes Kieran Kelleher battling his way from the left-hand side, dropping it in left-footed. That's pulled down, but there was forwards in the square. There's a free out. Out comes the free. That will come out towards Niall Gallugly. Michael Tye is there, and Niall Gallugly there to pick it up. Being tackled now as he makes his way, tries to make his way. He's fouled by Gary Riley, and there's a free to Aughavas back up here to our right. John Farley will take the free. Derek Maguire. That's switched down in there now, and Niall Gallugly was trying to move it on a little bit. David Flynn is back there battling to win the free, wearing number 4 but playing out at left half back and faring pretty well. He's held his end up pretty well, and Noel Nash, one of the bigger members of the squad. That ball's going to break for Gary Riley. Gary Riley will be chased back by Declan Kelleher. Gary Riley is still going. The shot is on. The shot is in the net. Shamey Mac, that was a great goal there from Gary Riley.
Great goal. He still run what? He was still run 20 yards or so. The last day here, when they played Aughavas and Carrigallen played, he was kicking them from far out. You know, he had opportunities to carry the ball, and at least today he's carrying it. You know, good goal.
A wet ball too, and difficult for a keeper to stop, but that was well planted into the corner as the kick out now comes out towards the middle of the field, and there won't be much clean handling here. Francis Byrne will pick that one up as Mark Kerrigan goes in hot pursuit, and Francis Byrne crossing the 65-metre line on the halfway line. He's fouled, and there's a free. So Francis Byrne to take the free. Lobbing it in. Now, that's taken in there by Niall Maguire, and now Niall Gallogly going, trying to power his way through. Play on, says the referee, as it's smothered inside there. That's picked off the ground. 13-metre free to Aughavas. This, a nice angle for a right-footed kicker, and let's see, as the ball has been delivered in. Gavin Farley is going to take the kick, going to chip it from the hand, slot it over the bar. It's 1-1 to 0-2, and we've played 12 and a half minutes of play. There's not much between these sides, Seamus. They're pretty evenly matched.
Yeah, very evenly matched. You know, the left half forward for Aughavas is causing Carrigallen a lot of trouble. That number 14. You know, he's getting in there very handy.
Big lad.
Big lad. But there's a big lad on him. He should be able to stall him.
So Oisin Donoghue will take the kick out. Good kick up into the middle of the field. And Matthew McManus laying it off for Caden Kelleher. Kelleher is being chased in there now by David Charles. Still it's Caden Kelleher. Charles in pursuit as the ball is played in now to Mark Kerrigan. Kerrigan will left foot that one in. That's broken down inside in front of goal. And that's nicely collected back in there now by Colin Farley. It's a block down inside. Now the shot was on for the moment. Now there's a free out. Niall Riley a little too slow there to avail of that. A foul and a free to Aughavas. Back, says Jerry McGovern, to Niall Gallogly, and Niall Gallogly now will take the free for Aughavas. Drop it down. For the first time, Noel Nash doing a little bit of mishandling as Gavin Farley. Now it's Noel Nash, and Noel will switch the ball across. That's nicely pammed away there by Derek Maguire. It's played into space. David Flynn is going across, but he'll leave it to Caden Kelleher. Caden Kelleher picking it up and laying it on up the line for David Flynn, who will come inside. He's been chased, but he gets the ball in nicely into the middle. Now, sending the ball up, and Gary Riley breaking away with it. Gary Riley's kick. There will be a 13-metre free. He was fouled as he released the ball. So let's see who they'll use to kick this one. Charles McGuinness is going to kick this one, and I can only think that there must be a hint of injury to Caden Kelleher when he's not taking them with the left foot from that side. It's blocked out. It's crashed to the net. So Niall Riley crashing that, and it's now 2 goals and 1 to 2 points. Now, goals on a wet evening or in wet conditions like this, Seamus, goals are something that's very, very difficult to pull back.
Very, very difficult. Do you know, it's amazing how goals come. Do you know that ball should have been just tapped over the bar, but it was broke. The full back caught it and went to come out, and the shot was blocked down. Next thing, he was buried in the back of the net. So it's funny how goals come.
It came from a missed free, in fact. Right now, Declan Kelleher of Aughavas sending the ball downfield. Coming across there is Noel Nash, and Noel Nash working his way up. Noel has been challenged in there by Niall Maguire. Still Noel Nash as he makes his way and will drop that one in right for it. That's dangerous as it drops in, going to the right. That going out to the right, so Francis McLaughlin will prepare to take the kick out. Switching play out towards Derek Maguire. Derek Maguire will punt it forward, but David Flynn is there. David Flynn has been tackled by David Charles. Flynn will lay the ball back there now to Matthew McManus. Dropped inside. They're feeding it inside. Gary Riley's shot is going over the end line, and they got 2 goals, Seamus. They've got a point as well, but they're missing point chances.
They are missing. You know, there was an incident there where Gary Riley went for a score himself, and he had young Gray here on the right hand side, no one on him. You know, they just don't want to get too greedy because they've got 2 handy goals. You know, there's only a couple of kicks of the ball between them at the same time. On a wet evening like that, anything can happen.
Charles McGuinness will lay the ball off, and Matthew McManus is held. Charles McGuinness will take the free. Up it goes. Francis Byrne got a hand to it. Mark Carrigan is chasing after it. Francis Byrne is still after him as Mark Carrigan's kick will drop right in there, and Francis McLaughlin, is it? No, it's John Farley who's coming out with it, and David Flynn is beaten to it this time by David Charles. Charles makes his way, tapping the ball in there now. Derek Maguire lobbing it right down. Declan Donoghue broke it down, and Noel Nash picked it up, and Noel Nash's clearance comes up across halfway now. Martin Cregan is running on there and going inside for the pass, but the pass isn't coming his way. The shot from Niall Maguire is saved by Oisin Donoghue. I think if that one had been played on to Martin Cregan, there was a goal chance on for Aughavas there, but right now it's a line ball, and Niall Galloway is going to take it. That's going down towards the end line. Noel Nash comes across. Noel Nash will boot that one over onto the far side. Matthew McManus will race across, and Matthew picking it up for Carrigallen will lay it across. Now David Flynn watches it go past. Mark Kerrigan and Francis Byrne in battle. Kerrigan nudges it on. Francis McLaughlin is back there to pick it up, and the referee has blown up the game. There's 18 and a half minutes played. I make it 2-1 to 0-2. The referee having a word in there now. In fact, he's going over to consult with his linesman, Joe Dorrigan from Gortlatra. Meanwhile, the numbers of the midfielders are being jotted down. Throw ball, says the referee, as he will restart the game with just over 19 minutes played. Up it goes. That's tapped on. Francis McLaughlin is there for Aughavas to pick it up and to clear the ball out. Now Niall Maguire chasing for it there with Declan Donoghue, and Niall Maguire will drop that one inside. That's a chance for the goal on. Here it is, the goal. Gavin Farley. 2-1 to 1-2. Now, that was coming, Seamus. There was a goal chance a little earlier on, had the ball been played in. That was a good one.
Great goal by the young lad. But as I said earlier, Carrigallen's having trouble on this side of the field. So they are, but a well taken goal.
So Oisin Donoghue to take the kick out. Out it comes. Noel Nash grabbing it from the kick out, and Gavin Farley, the goal scorer, was putting in the challenge. Charles McGuinness was reading that, or appeared to be reading it well. John Farley reading it better, coming down, getting the free. 2020, that's the time gone. The man in possession is David Charles. David Finn puts in the challenge. It's still David Charles. Aughavas coming. A free in for the foul on David Charles, as Brian Murray rolled the ball back there, and Gavin Farley comes across to take the free. Slots it over. Seamus, there's just a point in it at this stage. We've played 21 minutes. It's entertaining despite the conditions.
Yeah. You know, the Aughavas under 14 young lads, you know, they begin to throw the ball around and find each other and playing really well. Young Charles and young Maguire and that, and they're playing well.
So we await the kick out, which Joshine Donoghue will take. This will land out towards the middle of the field. Francis Byrne for Aughavas there to pick it up. Francis being tackled and needs some help as he lays the ball across in there now. That's won there by Michael Tighe, and Michael with the clearance nicely delivered up the field, but that's going to roll out over the sideline. Mark Carrigan unable to contain it. Francis Byrne will take the sideline kick for Aughavas. Getting it down to Niall Maguire. Maguire will send it across in towards the middle, and that's nicely won in the middle, lobbed in by Niall Galloway. That's broken down inside by Noel Nash, tackled by Gavin Farley as Nash, powerfully built centre back, comes with the clearance, tries to feed it out to Kieran Kelleher, gets it out here where Kelleher will be tackled in there now by Martin Cregan. Still Kelleher in possession, trying to breaking away now as he crosses the 65, lays it into Francis Byrne outside the 45 metre line. It's Francis Byrne of Aughavas who will get it down now to the other Francis McLaughlin. McLaughlin laid it on to Niall Galloway. Aughavas beginning to open up their game, beginning to open up the Carrigallen defence, but that shot has gone over and the sides are level at 1 goal and 4 to 2 goals and 1. Shamey, I said they were beginning to open up the defence.
Yeah, they're waltzing through them so they are at the moment. Few instances there where Carrigallen and young Kelleher got the ball instead of letting it in. You know, wet evening like that, the ball it should be let into the danger area as quickly as it can be let in. No, there's no point in having young McGuinness inside and no ball going into him. Here
comes Oisin Donoghue's kick out. That's tapped on, and David Flynn, doing everything right out there, but right now Aughavas are going to get the free for the foul on John Farley. Trying to feed it out to David Charles, but David Flynn was there. The free is going to Carrigallen. 24 minutes played in the first half. Thankfully that glaring sun has disappeared as Matthew McManus goes over to pick up the ball on the far side, and challenge him there is Derek Maguire as that's going to come right across, and John Farley. John doing well in the half back line for Aughavas, feeding it down. That's down towards Niall Galloway. Nicely tapped on. It's booted out by Brian Murray. It's picked up by Matthew McManus. Matthew now the tug on the jersey from Derek Maguire, but the ball released to Michael Tighe. Michael Tighe will jab that one on to Mark Carrigan. Carrigan from the 45 metre line trying to drop it inside, and now what's going to happen here as they're still Stephen Gray trying to pick it up. They're deadlocked at 7 points apiece, 2-1 to 1-4. They're battling hard as Charles McGuinness picks it up. McGuinness with the 25 minutes played will drop that one right in there. The goalkeeper is underneath it, parrying it down. It's pulled on, it's deflected out. That was exciting up there in the goal mouth.
Yeah, good save there by the Aughavas goalie. Great save.
And also their fullback Colin, Colin Farley cleaning it out as well. Now Michael Tighe and Niall Galloway battling for it as Galloway picks it up for Aughavas and drops it down across halfway. Across comes David Flynn, and Flynn playing his heart out. David Charles watches as the challenge was being put in there.
All right, Stephen.
Now let's see, there's a substitute coming in to the Aughavas team. Let's see what number 16 on my list is Shane Brennan. I'll have to consult who that Aughavas sub is. This is Niall Galloway. Down it goes, Niall Maguire and Declan. I'm told it's Jonathan Kenny that's in the game. Francis Byrne dropping it in. Oisin Donoghue palming it down. That's Gavin Farley in after it. (2-4 to 2-1). The point chances that we talked about in the early stages though, Miss Seamus, they could be vital yet.
Could be vital yet. You know, that was a long ball in and the goalie, he should have held it. It was a handy ball for him, he should have held it. But as I said earlier, they're having trouble on this side of the field. I see they would have made a change now, but they are having desperate troubles that they were on this side of the field.
So it looks like Declan Donoghue who's going, and Derek Riley has come in. So Derek Riley in at cornerback to replace Declan Donoghue. Right now the ball is being collected in there by another Declan. That's Declan Kelleher of Aughavas. Noel Nash again coming across, and Noel. Now, despite the fact that Gavin Farley got in for the goal, it's no injustice to Noel Nash, because on the field of play, Noel is doing well.
He's playing real well. You know, him and young Flynn there and Maguire is playing top and stuff, you know.
There's a nice ball in from Matthew to Gary Riley. That's a bullet of a shot. That's gone to the right. That was a pile driver. He went for the corner. Perhaps he should have gone for the point.
I should have tapped it over the bar. There's no point in going for goals this early in the game. You know, should just tap it over the bar.
It took Aughavas a while to settle. Settle they did, and they're now in command. 2-4 to 2-1. My watch tells me we've played almost 28 minutes of the first half as the kick out will come out to Niall Galloway. Michael Tighe in to tackle. Michael Tighe to boot the ball through, but John Farley is there. John Farley trying to break a way out with it. And the free to Aughavas as John sends the ball down. Once again, it's Noel Nash there to meet it, and Noel Nash to feed the ball right up to the middle. A well-placed ball. Now, Gary Riley feeding it inside. Kieran Kelleher shot. That's dropping over the bar. That's a good score from Kieran Kelleher. So there's two between them with less than 2 minutes to the break. Seamus, like I said, conditions aren't great, but it's entertaining.
It's surely entertaining. You know, as we said beforehand at the beginning, you know, there'll be only kick of the ball, I reckon, between the teams when it's over.
So we await the kick out for Aughavas from Francis McLaughlin. Out it comes, John Farley underneath it, grabbing it well. Now, Michael Tighe picked it up, but the referee has called up the play and has awarded the free. David Flynn is going to take the free, and David Flynn will drop that one out to Charles McGuinness. McGuinness running well, winning possession well, being chased by Francis McLaughlin. Still McGuinness turning inside. The right-footed shot from McGuinness has gone over. That's a good score, Shem.
A good score, you know. Charles is a good player, you know, and you have to be bringing your good players into the game. You know, that was a good pass there.
So it's back to a 1-point game as we've got less than a minute to the break, but Jerry may add on a little time. There was a couple of small delays. Here comes the kick out from Aughavas, Francis McLaughlin. That's coming out now. Declan Kelleher will, Niall Galloway and Michael Tighe will battle for it, and Niall Galloway getting it down to Niall Maguire. Free to Aughavas out there in front of us. For descent, the referee is moving it on. Francis Byrne will take it. We've just ticked over the 30 minutes. He won't take it. Niall Galloway will take it. Across now for Martin Cregan. David Flynn will come hounding in. Kieran Kelleher is there as well. Jerry McGovern has signalled that it's an Aughavas free. Will it be Martin Cregan who'll take it? The answer is yes, as he drops it in towards Kieran Kelleher, not able to contain it. Half time as Brian Murray makes the clearance. At half time, Shamie Mack, there's a point between them. Now, you mentioned a few players before the game. You mentioned on the Carrigallen side, you mentioned that Noel Nash's influence at centre back, that Charles McGuinness up on the forwards. We'll take a look at the Aughavas side. What players in Aughavas has impressed?
Francis Byrne there at centre field, he's getting a lot of ball. Maybe he should be letting it go a bit quicker. He's maybe taking a little bit out of it. And young Charles there, he's under 14. He's playing well enough, but there's a good tussle between him and young David Flynn there. And young Maguire here on this side of the field. The two, the half forward and corner forward here on this side of the field, give Carrigallen endless trouble there in the first half.
And John Farley is playing well in the half back line for Aughavas as well.
Playing well in the half back line is right. There's a good bit of ball. Aughavas is ahead because any time they're getting the ball down the field, they're converting it into scores. Where Carrigallen is getting the ball up quite a bit, but they're wasting it.
They've had quite a few wides against Aughavas, and with a lot less possession, they're a point ahead.
Yeah, a lot less possession, they're a point ahead. So they're making use of their chances. But as I was saying earlier, you have to get young McGuinness into the game. He's a good guy to carry the ball in there, and he's going to cause a lot of trouble if they get him into the game.
Maybe more suited to drier conditions.
But then there again, the Havas young lads, there's 2 or 3 of them there in the forward line that's under 14. They've won an under 14 title, and they're making use of it.
Shamey, we'll take a break just like the players are doing, just like everybody else is doing here in Carrigallen, and we'll come back to bring you the pictures, compliments of Terry Williams. Shamey Mack and myself will do our best endeavour to tell you the story as the half unfolds. See you then. Now we've got some information at half time, and I'll have to have a little word with John Murray whenever I meet him, because the numbers that were given to me were not the numbers to correspond with the Aughavas players. We praised John Farley, Shamey McManus. In fact, that was Derek Maguire, we're now told, that was playing at half back. So we better give him his due praise, because he had a stormer in that first half.
He had a great game there. A great game. Actually, both players was playing well. As you say, we had them mixed up, but both of them were playing really well.
So we hope that there's no more hiccups from our end of it, but it's not for us to apologise to those lads. John Murray, I'll see you somewhere sometime. Now, it was in fact Stephen Carrigan who came in at cornerback that's using a second 17, but now I see that it's a different jersey. There's white in the sleeves of it. So thanks to Carrigallen for letting me know. Jerry McGoffin is checking on the watches. Second half gets underway. There's just a point between them. Kieran Kelleher down for Matthew McManus. Niall Riley. Niall Riley will drop that ball inside. Gary Riley running on to it. Gary to try to turn inside, blasting the shot. That's a nice stop in there by the goalkeeper, Garrod McGovern, and the clearance is coming out. Garrod has made a few fine stops in this catch. Kieran Kelleher upended as he went across for that one. So Kieran Kelleher to take the free. Dropping it in high. That's broken down inside. Mark Carrigan. Mark will need to lay that one back into space. It goes into a crowded area instead. Free out. Free in, sorry. This should level up the match. Gary Riley, 2-4 apiece. Now, Shamey, we're in for a battle.
We're in for a battle, all right. Gary, he's playing real well there on the 40, but I'd rather see him tapping over the ball over the bar. He's going for goals too much. Goals don't come every couple of seconds. He should be tapping it over the bar.
So we await the kick out. Out it comes. Now, Carrigallen's 18. Dare we call him his right name, which we now believe is John Farley. Up it goes. The David's battle. Flynn gets a toe poke. Keaton Kelleher picks it up. Martin Cregan will go into challenge. Charlie McGuinness. And Charles, and nicely off for Mark Kerrigan. That runs on. And John Farley there to intercept. Booting the ball out was Niall Gallowgly. Michael Tighe out there with them. And Michael Tighe going back to pick it up. Stephen Carrigan. That's nicely met in there by Declan Kelleher. And Declan Kelleher for Aughavas. John Murray, you're with me now, John. I said prayers for you at half time. And anyway, all is forgiven. The sides are level at 2-4 apiece. There was a lot of confusion with the wing backs because
Number 18, John Farley.
yeah, we had been informed prior to the game that he'd wear 17, so we got it wrong through the first half, but he'll forgive us, John.
You have it right now.
Francis Byrne sends the free in, and Aughavas will come attacking again as that's fisted over the bar by Niall Gallowgly. Now, Shamey, that's something we don't see enough of in the game. That was a good score.
Oh, that was a great score. It was, you know, for a young lad, you see seniors going through and they wouldn't even do that. No, but as I said earlier, we're having a bit of trouble on that far side of the field. So they want to soon think about doing something with it.
So it's a 1 point margin again. About 3 minutes played in the second half. Now, the referee at the moment, it's not a lap of honour he's doing. He's going down to consult with umpires.
What are you shouting at? All right, Johnny, never mind them.
Derek Maguire in need of attention and getting the attention. Gary Riley being spoken to. That was an off the ball incident, Seamus. I didn't see what happened.
No, I didn't see what happened either. But obviously the umpire, and that's where it's very important to have neutral umpires.
So a yellow card for Gary Riley. Now to proceed with the kick out.
Carrigallen!
Kieran Kelleher. And that's nicely won back there now. As Colin Farley's clearance is intercepted by David Flynn. David Flynn will drop that one inside. Niall Riley tried to thread the ball in through in there, and right now it's Derek Maguire who's trying to get out with it. Switching the ball across onto the far side. Noel Nash going across. Noel being tackled by Niall Gallowgly. As Noel now breaking away, coming forward with it, looking for the leveling. Now that's Mark Kerrigan getting the hand to it. Deflected it past the goalkeeper. It's 3-4 to 2-5. One would have expected the goalkeeper to advance on that one, but Mark followed the flight of the ball and touched it on nicely, Jamie.
Yeah, the goalie maybe should have come, but then there again, as you always see, the midfielder didn't follow him back. No, it's very important the midfielders follow back.
You have to track back on your man.
All the time.
Declan Kelleher taking the kick out, and it's Carrigallen who win it in midfield as the goal scorer Mark Kerrigan laid it off to Matthew McManus. That's a nice diagonal delivery to Charlie McGuinness. McGuinness now working his way across into the middle and laid it off for Gary Riley. Gary Riley trying to drive forward. That's going just outside the post. Shamey, like we talked earlier, he should be going for points.
I should be going for points. Every ball he's going for a goal, and he's loose men now and again. He's been a bit greedy there, but he's playing a great game. But he should be tapping it over the bar.
4-2-5. That's what I make it with 5.5 minutes played in the second half. A free to Aughavas. Now Niall Maguire has been chased by Stephen Carrigallen. And the referee wants to have a word with Stephen Carrigallen. Niall Maguire being attended to over there on the far side. So the second yellow card of the game, both to the boys in blue. That's going to run on towards the end line. Noel Nash will chase back. Niall Galloway chasing back after him. Free out to Carrigallen, and Noel Nash will feed that one on. John Farley in a tug of war with Matthew McManus. Throw ball, says the referee. Tapped it down. Francis Byrne of Aughavas there to pick it up. Stephen Corrigan into challenge as Byrne will try and make space over next the sideline. Tried to lay it off, wins the free. Michael Ty drops the ball and goes back to take up his position. That's gone over from Francis Byrne. It's back to a 1-point game, Seamus. Now, we've played just over 7 minutes, coming towards 8 minutes in the second half. It's still a seesaw battle. I see, we got a report of that number 16, did we, a little earlier on. It's Jonathan Kenny on the Aughavas team. Seamus, while they're taking the kick out, your thoughts now?
It's going to be very, very tight, as we say. I see Aughavas has made a change there. They've moved the centre half forward and centre half back. So whether that has an effect will be just interesting.
As players battle for it, and Francis McLaughlin, let's hope John Murray that that's who's wearing that number. Noel Nash, Jerry McGovern wants to have a word with taking a note of a number there after that foul, noting one of the Aughavas numbers, and Noel Nash to take the free. Noel, who incidentally is a nephew of the chief photographer Philip McIntyre, who's here. And now it's Charlie McGuinness. Free out. And speaking of relations, well, the Farleys and Michael Ty and Noel Nash all related. As Derek Maguire goes forward, but is stopped in there by Michael Ty, and the free to Aughavas. Francis Byrne to take the free. That's going to drop short inside. Michael Ty bringing it down. Stephen Corrigan picking it up and clearing it out for Mark Kerrigan to run on to. And Mark picking it up as he crosses 65. Then the halfway line as he drops it inside. Now Gary Riley there. Gary with the shot, that's dropping out to the right and going wide. And there's about 10 minutes gone, Seamus. Now, scores are being presented to players. They're not taking them.
No, they're not taking them. Both sides has chances.
On both sides.
So it'll be, before the game is over now, it'll be very interesting as to...
That's a nice ball into space for Stephen Gray. May not be able to get to it. Declan Kelleher is fouled as he comes across. The referee, Jerry McGovern, is going in. Going to throw the ball up between a couple of players if he can single out a couple. Francis Byrne leaves it. Declan Clare up now towards it's David Flynn who picks it up as David Charles battle for it. That ball is nicked away once more. Noel Nash down to David Flynn. David Flynn, that kick is half blocked down. Gary Riley picking it up for Carrigallen. Gary Riley been chased by Martin Craig, and that's gone to the left and it's gone wide. And with 11 minutes played, 3-4 to 2-6. That's 13 points to 12. Now, I see there's instructions going in there to some of the... Well, it's Charles McGuinness who got a bit of a knock. Charles McGuinness got a knock. Francis Byrne, I think, might be checking the score with Jerry McGovern. His signal a point between them. That's what we make it as well, Seamus.
Yeah, that was a good opportunity there for Carrigallen as well. But Gary is taking too much out of the ball. You know, as I said earlier, he's not passing. He did young Taylor there inside. He didn't give it. One man won't win a game for you.
So we await the kick. That's out to the space of the sideline. Francis McLaughlin trying to work a way out. He's fouled. Right up into the middle. Gary Riley knocking it down, collecting for Carrigallen. Free to the boys in blue, and Gary Riley to take it. Players hadn't broken the space fast enough. That will come out now to Mark Kerrigan, back to Gary Riley. Gary now taking on Gavin Farley, taking the shot, dropping it in, dropping it wide, and it remains 3-4 to Carrigallen, 2-6 to Aughavas. There's about 14 played in the second half.
Now they're going to regret them, I'd say, before the game's over. You know, they're throwing away several chances there.
So we wait on the kick out. Francis Byrne not quite holding on to it. Cian Keeler going in. Francis Byrne for Aughavas. And losing a boot in that last challenge in there. Out comes the kick. A push in the back by David Charles on David Flynn. David Charles. Matthew McManus in the challenge. Still David Charles as he looks up, delivering the ball nicely to Derek Maguire. Going forward, Noel Nash is after him. Still Derek Maguire. Free in. Can this from Gavin Farley level it up? No, it's from the moment it left his boot, Seamus, it looked a goner.
I was going wide from the moment it left, all right, but he didn't steady himself. You know, he just came up and took it right away. He didn't appear to compose himself at all to tap it over the bar. Bad mate.
So that's a let off for Carrigallen. Out comes the kick. Brian Murray's kick half blocked down. Mark Kerrigan booting it into space. Picked up in there now by Niall Riley, who will drop it on inside. Derek Maguire is not Derek. John Farley was back there that time. Those numbers, John, they're still confusing me. Charles McGuinness to take the kick. That's dropping down towards the left of the small rectangle. Mark Kerrigan, a low ball across, bouncing off the goalkeeper. Colin Farley. Out comes the clearance. Aughavas up to Francis Byrne. That breaks and they get the free. From Declan Keller up the field it comes. That's rebounded for Gary Riley of Carrigallen. Francis Byrne is after him, still Gary Riley. And Gary from out the field dropping it in and into the net. Into the net. 4-4 to 2-6.
Well, it's amazing how they come. You know, he had easier chances early on, but you know, it was a great drive of a ball. A wet evening like that, that's the ball to be sending in. No, it's unfortunate on the goalie. You know, he had saved some great ones early on.
That was one to punch up rather than try to catch, but at this age level it's all a learning process as Francis McLaughlin breaks away for Aughavas and feeding the ball up. Stephen Corrigan was coming charging out, so also is Michael Tye, fouling Gavin it was a foul on Gavin Farley, and Francis Byrne with the free. It's 4-4 to 2-6. And 19 minutes played in the second half, and Aughavas get a free up there near the 13-metre line. Out on the sideline, it's floated right across into Style Galloway. Michael Tye will pick it up for Carrigallen and lay it out. Now, it's on its way. And Matthew McManus, quick to see that it broke. In goes David Flynn. David Flynn will play it down to Matthew McManus, working his way, trying to get away from the would-be tackles as he lets the ball down. Declan Keller coming out to it. He was fouled. The free is fed up towards Niall Maguire. Stephen Corrigan out there with him. Maguire breaking away from Corrigan. That's fed on inside and coming nicely for Niall Galloway. Galloway as Noel Nash puts in the challenge. That's laid across inside for Derek Maguire. Brian Murray is there. Brian will pick it up for Carrigallen. Feed it out to Noel Nash. Noel Nash. Now Gary Riley back to feed it down for Matthew McManus. And Matthew now turning, dropping it inside. That's a nasty one in there by Caden Keller. Caden Keller trying to get away. Still getting away from Martin Cregan. Still Caden Keller. Now he'll need to get support. He gets the support from Charles McGuinness. McGuinness twisting, turning. It's not easy to get past David Charles. He'll fist the ball in right across in front of goal. Colin Farley coming out with it. Working his way out the field to the 45-metre line. Across now. A foul on Martin Cregan. Martin Cregan will take the free for Aughavas. Up towards Niall Maguire. Niall feeding it on for the other Niall Galloway. Michael Tye will go across to put in the challenge. Still Niall Galloway Clay Owens is the referee as Niall Gallagher comes across into Gavin Farley. Gavin Farley trying to get away from David Flynn. The low ball is inside. Brian Murray is there. Brian Murray for Carrigallen. He's dispossessed, but he's got good help in there from Michael Tye. The claims will come out asking Mark Kerrigan to chase after it. Francis Byrne is there to pick it up, to be bundled over to get the free for Aughavas. Shamey, there's 22 minutes played, 8 to go. There's still only the kick of a ball in it.
Still only a kick of a ball. This could be dangerous now.
And it is, it's in the net from David Charles. It's 16-15, 4-4 to 3-6. Now, there was 2 kicks in Seamus when we talked. There's only the one now.
Yeah. Young Murray there was playing well and David Flynn, but it's amazing David's after playing well the whole game, but he's a man just after sneaking in for a goal. No, they don't want to get complacent at all, you know, when they're a few points up. Just keep ploughing on.
We wait till the kick out from Oisin Donoghue. It's that type of game that nobody deserves to lose, as David Flynn's kick is met in there by Colin Farley. Putting the ball out to Niall Maguire. That'll run on for Niall Gallagher. Michael Tye going out there as well. That's out over the sideline. That's an Aughavas line ball and Niall Gallagher will take it. Dropped right up inside. Noel Nash. Noel trying to feed the ball out to David Flynn, succeeding in doing so. David Flynn, that's going to be collected by Aughavas as Niall Gallagher. He'll thump that one right back in there again. Brian Murray is there. He gets help from Gary Riley. Gary bursting his way out. It's 4-4 to 3-6. Carrigallen, 16-15. They lead. As Gary Riley will chip the ball back to Mark Kerrigan. Kerrigan will drop that one across. Matthew McManus will chase after it. John Farley chasing after him. And Matthew was out over the sideline in possession. Martin Cregan will take the sideline kick.
Gary, has to come this way. Who's the man? Draw back, Gary.
Up the line it comes, right in front of us. David Flynn is there for Carrigallen. David Flynn right across into the middle, trying to find Stephen Gray. Declan Kelleher was there as well. Mark Kerrigan is there. Mark playing it along the ground into space to pick it up for Carrigallen. He'll drop that one inside. Stephen Gray can't get to it. That's out over the end line. Shamey, we talked about it all evening. Chances not being availed of. There's just 1 point in it.
Not been available, you know, they're after going 2 or 3 balls in across the corner forward there. Anybody's game.
Gavin Farley in need of attention. Time ticking on, and I'm not sure if Jerry McGovern stopped the watch, but for an injury like this, I will stop mine. I can tell you that there's just a little with 5 minutes to go. This game in doubt, as it has been right from the word go. Shamey, talk me to this stoppage.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very tight. No, but the only thing is Carrigallen sneaking in the goals now and again, you know, handy goals. No, but the like a Charles McGuinness, this is when we need the like a Charles now. You know, we need him to get a couple of balls there and carry them and go with the Aughavas defence and maybe win a free.
The move from Aughavas, moving Francis Byrne back in the field a bit. He's winning quite a bit of ball. Well, he's doing defending, doing it well, and more of a defensive midfielder, shall we say. Mark Kerrigan seems to be following him everywhere, but...
Yeah, it'll be a personal duel with the two of them. You know, they're at the vocational school together there, so it'll be a...
Here comes Kieran Kelleher for Carrigallen. That's blocked down inside. Declan Kelleher picking it up for Aughavas, working his way out. Soloing can be dangerous in conditions like that, but he gets a good delivery right up through the middle. Brian Murray will chase back, and Brian picking that one up. He's brought to the ground. There's a free out. Out it comes. Gavin Farley battling hard and winning the free. Francis Byrne to take the kick. Way up there into space to Niall Gallowgly. Once again, he'll be chased across there by Michael Tighe. Niall Gallowgly way out in the corner, trying to find room or find a colleague. Still being kept out there. Michael Tighe still after him. Niall will drop that ball right across. It's well fielded back there by Gary Riley. And Gary getting the ball out into space that Dale Maguire was trying to fill. Now, is there a chance on here for Carrigallen as they'll break with Charles McGuinness? McGuinness as Francis McLaughlin watching him all the way. This has been a great battle between these two great young sides. Here comes the shot from Charles McGuinness. That's gone over the bar. That's stretched it to 2, Shamey. Yeah. There's I'd say there's about 4 minutes or so left.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying. That's when you need the good player. You know, Charles to get the ball now and again. Another one. And go through again.
Now it'll be the turn of Niall Gallowgly or Niall Maguire to try to do likewise up there for Aughavas, but with Mark Carrigan in possession, that's going inside once again. Caden Kelleher being chased by Martin Cregan. The free to Carrigallen. Charles McGuinness. That will have to be retaken. Standing stock still as he comes out to kick it right footed, hooking it to the left. That's gone out over the end line. This game ain't over yet, Seamus. No, there's 2 points in it, and like we said right all along, anything could happen. The umpire being consulted in there, so
no, that ball should have been tapped over the bar. You know,
we wait the kick out. Well held, and very well held by Francis McLaughlin. He in turn is held. Just over 2 minutes left in the game. The light fading rapidly. The tension still pretty strong as Derek Maguire. What a battler as he lobbed that ball way up there. David Flynn comes across. David Flynn for Carrigallen to Gary Riley. Gary Riley to Michael Tighe. Michael Tighe laying it back to Gary. Free to Carrigallen. They're calling on Noel Nash to take it. Will this be a long one right down through the middle? I make it a couple of minutes to go. A couple of points between them. And the referee calling for the ball. Up it will go between them. Between Martin Cregan and Caden Kelleher. Kelleher tapping it on. Francis Byrne grabs it for Aughavas and coming forward with it. Chipping it up towards Niall Gallowgly. Niall Gallowgly coming inside. The long ball way up there now. Derek Maguire will chase after it. Derek Maguire being chased by Noel Nash. Maguire coming in. But the referee has blown the whistle. Over travelling with the ball. Free out to Carrigallen. A minute to go, Seamus. That's a let up.
They were lucky there. I don't know why they're not. Some of the players isn't falling back. No, they're leaving too much room inside, so that.
I thought for a moment that net was going to bulge up there again. We're in the final minute. 4 goals and 5 to 3 goals and 6 in favour of Carrigallen. Oisin Donoghue to take the free out. About a half a minute to go. Francis Byrne for Aughavas. Francis being tackled in there by Mark Carrigallen. The free to Aughavas. That's right across into the centre. Very well held in there now. Gary Riley. There goes the final whistle. Right on the button of the 30 minutes. Shamie Mack. They've won it. There were lucky scores. There were lucky breaks. There was quite a few misses. This game had everything.
They did everything, you know. There's no doubt about it. They had some lucky scores, but they all count at the end of the day.
It's the ones that go under or go over are the ones that wins the games. Declan Bohan will be making the presentation, and Terry Williams and myself will make our way as fast as we can towards the presentation area.
I'm trying, John.
On behalf of Gordon Noga, I'd like to congratulate two very sporting teams and two teams that fought very, very hard for this cup over the last hour. And I suppose that over the duration of the competition, it was a competition that ended up as a three-way playoff, and two best teams, as it turned out, got to the final. And they served up a marvellous, entertaining match. And the conditions, I suppose, after last night's rain weren't great, but nonetheless, it was a very exciting game with a very high standard and quality of football played by both teams from the start to the finish. And both sets of players and their management are to be complimented on that. The standard of the game and its excitement. I was at the Division 1 final yesterday evening, which turned out to be a rather one-sided affair. And I can tell you all the excitement is reserved for this evening, and what you provided out there was far above Division 3, and congratulations to both teams for that. Always add that extra bit, and we commiserate with Aughavas after coming over here to Carrigallen this evening, and I suppose it's not easy to lose at any time, and maybe it's a bit harder this evening, but nonetheless, congratulations to them on winning the Under-14 Championship earlier in the year, and as the underage competitions are beginning to come to a close, we would like to thank Carrigallen and Aughavas for the contribution they've made to the underage football of 1999, and both teams have been successful in various competitions, from national schools earlier on right through to this evening at Under-16, where Carrigallen eventually have won this competition. And it's been a great year for Carrigallen. They've won at Under-12 schools, 14 and now 16 level. And with their seniors going well in Division 1, I'm sure it's only a matter of time before they'll be looking to gather some silverware at that level as well. I'd like to compliment the management, Michael Charles and all his helpers from Aughavas, John Riley and his helpers from Carrigallen, because these are the guys that are working with these fellas all year long. And I suppose the way fixtures have been going, and it's one game, one day after another, they've been working tremendously hard, and they have a good break now for the winter. And I think the mentors of both sets of teams deserve a round of applause for the amount of work they've done. And George Oregon and Martin McCartan for officiating as referee and linesman on the evening. They deserve a round of applause for the job well done. Thanks also to Carrigallen for the pitch this evening. I don't know what sort of an amicable arrangement she came to, but I suppose the next day maybe it'll be back over in Aughavas, but there was an Under-12 final played there 2 years ago. So it's good to have that type of amicable arrangement between two teams that, you know, you don't have to be searching for pitches here and there. Well done to both clubs and coming to before he gets too cold, because you're all wet and I won't say miserable look at this stage, very wet and dirty and everything else like that, present the cup to the winning captain, Kieran Kelly.
I love you.
Thank Aughavas for the good game, condition for that, and best of luck in the future. Cheers for Aughavas. Hip, hip. Hooray! Hip, hip.